The year is 1989 and Timothy Dalton reprises his portrayal of James Bond. His first adventure, The Living Daylights, was a script initially tailored for the acting style of Roger Moore, hence the quips and excessive use of gadgetry, laser slicing the chassis of a car, anyone? All of which Dalton was clearly uncomfortable delivering. Thus, Dalton's follow-up catered for a stronger, darker performance, a moodier approach, more in sync with the action movies of the 80s, and a style which was to be matched and better received at the box office, almost 20 years later in a second adventure of revenge for our hero. My own personal adoration with this new Bond began in 1987, although I should add at this point I enjoy each incarnation of James Bond for their own merits, and have no favourite, because their individual styles are very indicative of the era in which they were made, and also chart the history of cinema acting, story, censorship and tastes. Anyway, back to 1987 and my naive observations and fan love, which I recorded as an audio commentary to a 25th anniversary documentary, which was narrated by Roger Moore, and listening to my own young remarks are quite embarrassing with hindsight, such as my exclamation that "he's brilliant, he is, he's brilliant." Oh dear. This affair continued unabated during the year of 1989 and beyond, as I compiled this archive of treasures, or scrapbook if you will, on the film originally titled Licence to Kill. It's hard to believe this was changed because the publicity department didn't think Americans would understand what revoked means, especially considering they used Quantum of Solace in 2008. Do you know what that means? My archive hasn't worn well, but like Bond himself, it's seen plenty of action, so please excuse the rough edges and dark shadows, which also inform the story within and about the film. According to producer Michael G. Wilson, Licence to Kill's motives are similar to those of the Akira Kurosawa's film Yojimbo, where a betrayed and mysterious Ronin creates havoc and distrust amongst feuding factions. Inspiration also for Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars. The story also features a plot point from Ian Fleming's Live and Let Die novel, which serves as Bond's revenge motive. Felix Leiter being fed to a shark. Incidentally, it is David Hedison who plays Leiter in both films. Torn from the news headlines of its time, drug trafficking, crime lords controlling the government of a principality, and, bless your heart, televangelism. It features a harder edge and more passionate Bond, akin with Ian Fleming's original creation. The poster artwork for Licence to Kill undersold it, even though the actual publicity machine kept apace with the Bond phenomenon. It's just a shame there was too much competition in 1989 for this Bond film to succeed as it deserved. No John Barry on the soundtrack, but Michael Kamen provides a serviceable score, and the main title by Gladys Knight is a powerful ballad which resonates throughout the movie. Acting highlights include a suitably menacing Robert Davi, Wayne Newton as a slick televangelist, Benicio del Toro making his mark, and a bigger role for Desmond Llewellyn's Q. Switching studios to Churubusco in Mexico, which the Bond team completely overhauled and renovated, gave this film a vibrant, exotic feel similar to Thunderball in its day. On the accompanying Blu-ray documentary, there are various mentions of unexplained occurrences on the set, with the stills photographer capturing a particularly eerie flaming hand emerging from a tanker fireball, which is at the conclusion of the film, adding another unique part to this movie. Thank you very much for your patience in listening to my views, and next time this underrated action film with great cinematography by Alec Mills and an undervalued performance from Timothy Dalton is on television, spare it a couple of hours and enjoy.